Yo, 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 Big Kiss back up in here. I don't know if I'm reading this right, but Fantastic Hip Hop is bringing us a video titled Why Drake is Getting Cooked for Having New Kendrick Diss Tracks. Is this true? Is this something that I don't know about? Did Drake just come out and diss Kendrick again on a song? We about to go over this, y'all. Oh boy, we about to renew the beef. Is it a round two? Is it a round two? We about to get into this, y'all. I will leave a link in the description. Y'all know how I give it up. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Y'all know I'm like holding y'all. Without further ado, let's get it.
Now, with what Drake has just done, despite the way he has been getting dragged in the media non-stop right now for just consistently pushing the boundaries on how pathetic somebody whose job title is a rapper can be, he is not stopping any of his efforts to remain in the limelight and attempt to try and garner back any fans that he lost. And although every effort of his so far has been continuing to not just fail but make things worse, right now with the latest way Drake is trying to convince people that he is not at rock bottom, has managed to be one of the most confusing and pathetic yet, and as a result, the term crash out at this point is really getting an entirely new meaning. Because seriously, with the narratives Drake is trying to push now, and the obvious blatant manipulation that he is trying to win back any respect with, aside from already being the most despised person in hip-hop, even in a genre and art form where redemption has been such a big theme over the years, with what Drake has done, he has really just soiled any chance of ever making a comeback. And now before we get any further into this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, it helps me out a ton. And so now with what we have seen happening regarding Drake, for a change, instead of having himself embarrassing his own name, reputation, and legacy, others are actually going out and doing it for him, whether they realize it or not. And in this time where nobody wants to be seen, associated, or affiliated with Drake, this has changed a little bit, as not one but two major players in hip-hop now are standing alongside him, with the first person being none other than Latto.
Hey, shout out to Fantastic. He got some new B-roll, man. He got some new Drizzy B-roll. We see it, man. We see you. Where he's bond, boy?
Who did a video for Drake's Nocta brand, where even when trying to hype up the stuff he is working on outside of music, what's very noticeable here is that Drake and his creative team still decided to poke fun at Kendrick Lamar by making an emphasis to talk about how the brand has shoes even for short people, and in the frame when Latto says this, they zoom in on white Air Forces. But now even bigger than this subtle way of trying to make fun of Kendrick, and with someone of Latto's size doing it at that, there has been another person who's not just a star in hip-hop, but really a titan in the industry who has been around for decades, who has seemingly went out and tried to, while not necessarily defend Drake, just as attempted to recontextualize and make his position in his beef with Kendrick look way better than we all saw it out to be. And who did this was none other than 50 Cent. And so now what 50 did was to first off try and frame just how stacked the industry against him is, by looking and talking about a list of seemingly every single person that Drake is against right now. And while this list originated on social media, it is framed as the official list of everyone who Drake has beef with. From the obvious people like Kendrick Lamar and all the artists against him, to even NBA players like LeBron James and DeMar DeRozan, to even some other content creators and legendary hip-hop journalists. While 50 Cent was looking at this and thought it was funny in a way that there is an entire list that someone made to really highlight just how many people are against Drake, the fact that this list has reached the point where it is being printed out, and now with 50 seemingly showing off and going through it, this is going to be taken as the official rulebook of who is really against Drake. And so far, the optics of this are just not good, because if people ranging from Tyler the Creator to LeBron are not on your side, maybe you need to start reflecting on yourself. But we all have known this already, and now what's way more important to what 50 Cent said on Drake's behalf, and what is actually changing the way we looked at the beef and the future of his career against Kendrick Lamar, is that 50 revealed that in Drake's vault of music,
So that list of all Drake's ops was done by a fan. But the last one, who put that on it? That was Chick Smooth. It was one more person, which was Boy Wonder. I don't know if he unfollowed him or not, but yeah, that's wild.
He has even more Kendrick Lamar diss tracks that we have never heard. And now what 50 said specifically was that Drake was loaded and ready to go. I know they had new material. There's no way you stop, and you're losing. Nah, I gotta fix this. And now with 50 saying this, putting this alongside all the other context we know and everything this beef has shown us, This is actually revealing to us a lot. And now first off, going back to a track like Push-Ups. If hearing the DJ Who Kid intro wasn't enough, which for those who don't know was 50 Cent and G-Unit's official DJ, and seeing Drake have an entire G-Unit spinning chain at the beginning of the Family Matters music video didn't help either. With 50 Cent now having actual information about the fact that beyond the tracks Drake released already, he had even more, when you really put the pieces together and see how Push-Ups was a whole track where Drake was saying that with everyone he's going against and with everything he's doing, he is turning into the modern 50 Cent, it's safe to say that 50 wasn't just in the know about what Drake was doing in this time, but he was directly contributing and giving him ideas on where to go. And this isn't the only case of a rapper.
He ain't turning to no modern day 50 Cent. 50 Cent ain't got no skid mark on the top of his head. You gonna have to wear that wave cap, boy. Word, he's bond.
Far removed from the center of the genre, saying that they were giving Drake advice during the beef, because just a few months ago, Joe Budden also said that Drake was speaking to him about certain things during the back and forth, which is very telling about the network and echelon of rappers he was trying to hear from when it came to holding his own against Kendrick. But now with 50 saying that Drake had more diss tracks that were ready to go, and with the context of the conversation him and Big Boy were having, which was referring to when Kendrick Lamar dropped 4 entire diss tracks within the span of just a few days, overall this really just poses more questions than it gives answers about Drake, and him being in the booth and having material ready to go. Because with 50 Cent being in the loop with him and on some strong level, offering up advice and direction on where to go and how to make these major diss tracks entire full-fledged moments, as his brand, legacy, and name was directly ingrained in both Push-Ups and Family Matters, and then Drake having confirmed more songs ready to go that were dissing Kendrick after Not Like Us dropped. It makes you wonder why instead of releasing another song about Kendrick that could have redirected attention and saved his legacy, he just went out and wrote The Heart Part 6 as fast as he could instead, which then embarrassed his entire legacy with one of the worst response tracks of all time. And while all this is jarring, when you think about everything we saw and see how after Kendrick Lamar threw out so many different disses Drake's way lyrically, in such a short period of time that he still hasn't been able to come back from, and remember that the bar Drake already set with his diss tracks was pretty much him calling Kendrick Lamar short every single way he could, and then trying to get a glimpse into his personal life and making some of the worst claims and rebuttals about it, which range from him saying Dave Free was the father of one of his kids with no evidence, that Baby Keem writes his own songs when he was playing Minecraft while Kendrick entered the rap game as a top-tier MC, the Mother Eye lines, which I don't even have to get into how bad those are. And even when he went to an angle as ridiculous to talk about as why Whitney was following Dave Free and not Mr. Morale. It was clear that even on the songs Drake hyped up for months and that he was saying was going to end the career of Kendrick Lamar's as we knew it, that whether he realized it or not, that he already had nothing strong to say about him and was trying to treat Kendrick the same way he did with someone like Meek Mill, and believed that that would work. But of course, very similar to what happened with Drake and Pusha T, but just way worse than that, because Kendrick actually has the popularity to take down Drake's massive image. K-Dot was just so prepared and already was able to do so much to shake down his image with just 4 full-on diss songs, that Drake knew that if he took it further and threw more tracks out of his own vault, and of course he already knew that Kendrick said he had even more diss tracks in stock because he said that directly on Not Like Us, that if those songs already made him the laughingstock of the rap game, if this back and forth continued, it would have managed to somehow make things even worse. And on some level, I do think that that is true. Because if Meet the Grams and Not Like Us were disses number 3 and 4, I don't even think we want to know what diss.
Yo, I do want to know. Imagine what them other songs was about. I get excited off of just imagining what he was saying on these other songs that we haven't heard. Like, just comparing it to a Meet the Grams or 616 in L.A. What if those was the light joints? And the heavy joints was like, he ain't even released them. Like, oh my God, I get excited just thinking about that shit.
Tracks number 5 and 6 may have been like. And if Drake really was the hitmaker that he was once revered as, and wasn't just manipulating the system to get all of his number ones this decade so far for the most part, which I am sure as he is in his next major situation already with his label and while he's trying to take down the success of Not Like Us as a whole, we are going to learn a lot more about just how artificially manipulated Drake's stuff has been for a very long time. Altogether, I think knowing this context that 50 has told us, Unless Drake is planning to roll some of these songs out maybe around the Super Bowl or when his next album is coming out to try to make that project be a lot more interesting than it would be otherwise. This really solidifies that while he overestimated him at first, as soon as Euphoria released and then everything else happened, Drake was terrified of Kendrick Lamar, and while on the Hard Part 6, Drake may have framed it as a track where he was standing on a high ground over the antics of name-calling and deception, it was really him admitting that for a while. His ability to make a catchy diss record the way he once did with something like Back to Back, or anything in general that would rival Not Like Us, not just from a diss standpoint, but from a melody and vibe standpoint overall, is just absolutely gone. And Drake knows that he is washed and that he is never going to be able to make something as good and infectious as a moment like that. And just to further contextualize this, when we look at Drake since CLB really, compared to the way he used to make anthems that the entire world knew and recognized immediately, he actually hasn't had a real hit in years, as whether it's from ghostwriters leaving him or just his own decline as an artist. From a structural level, he can't write songs the same way he used to, because seriously, with every album he has dropped this decade, the biggest songs off every single one of those records came and went as number ones off their initial hype, the features they had attached to them, or the sample that called back to an actual successful hit. And really recognizing this pattern and seeing that there's no more Drake anthems that have been released. And then seeing that In the Beef, Not Like Us was such a scathing and infectious diss track that Drake just decided to hold back on his vault of other disses, which with the way 50 talks about here sounded like there was a lot of. Altogether, what we can see is that even with a legend in his corner trying to help him win this thing like 50 Cent, Drake's strategy was so terrible, and whether due to his own overconfidence or just the way he disregarded 50's words maybe, he never thought out how to actually effectively go after Kendrick Lamar, not just lyrically, because again, in hindsight, everything Drake had said fell apart.
Hey, yo, what if he try to sue 50 Cent? Hey, yo, what if he tried to sue 50 Cent because he gave him some wrong information? Hey, yo, the headline reads, yeah, Drake is now suing 50 Cent for giving him some fucked up information.
Apart almost on impact, but also in terms of just crafting a diss track in this day and age where these songs hit streaming platforms and become bigger cultural phenomenons than they ever have been before, which is a trend that he started. And overall, while Drake will never admit any of this, of course, all of this really proves that both as an actual MC, competitor, and as a hitmaker and pop star, which is something that Drake and everyone thought he would always have. Drake is beyond washed, and in this time where it's rumored that he wants more than anyone has ever gotten from his label in their upcoming deal that he's trying to make, and this is another reason why he is doing what he is to go against them, it's no surprise that he's not getting his way, because why would you give someone in rap what's the equivalent to a max contract?
Hey, yo, when I laugh, I don't be stopping. Like, yo, that shit take me forever to stop laughing. Yo.
To someone that has shown, despite their stardom years ago, that they are now on one of the biggest declines we have ever seen. And so now with all that said, let me know. What do you think about the news that Drake had more Kendrick Lamar diss tracks, but decided to just hold back on continuing the beef after he dropped the Hard Part 6? And do you think that in the future, as Drake tries to make a comeback actually musically, that we may end up getting an updated version of some of these disses that he's been working on? Or do you think we will never hear them at all? Now, I can't wait to hear what you have to say, and if you made it to this point in the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And now, if you want to see how right along...
Yeah, make sure y'all go like, comment, subscribe to Fantastic Hip Hop. That was a banger. But I would like to hear those Kendrick disses. Those 5 + 5. This gonna drop. Yeah, man, I gotta hear that. I do want to hear that. But yeah, I believe what Absolutely was saying, that Drake is going to try to reinvent himself as a streamer and, you know, do giveaways and, you know, continue with the Anita Mac Swing thing. And he's really going to try to strategize and reinvent himself, which if the people ain't rocking with it, then hey, if he tap into that different demographic who ain't worried about hip hop and all that, I don't know about that neither. We might just get the real Drake when he does that. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Oh yeah, 72% of y'all are not subscribed. Go on, hit the button. It don't cost you nothing. Go on, hit the button. Welcome home. It's time to come on home. Come on home. Come on, hit the button. There you go. Good job. That's see? That's all it took. That's all it took. Y'all let me know what y'all think of the video, man. Big Kiss signing out. I'm going, y'all.